Let's jump right into this explainer because if you've been watching the Fresno housing market lately, you know something is definitely up. The whole vibe is just different, right? We're literally watching a massive transition unfold in real time. The old rules of buying and selling a house in the Central Valley, yeah, they're actively getting rewritten right in front of us. So here's the big question we're tackling today. Why on earth are Fresno sellers suddenly slashing their prices? Think about it. For the past few years, sellers totally held all the cards. You could list a house, sit back, and just watch those crazy competitive offers roll in. But today, man, home sellers are getting a serious reality check. The market is giving them real-time feedback way earlier than it used to. You can't just throw out a pie-in-the-sky number anymore. Sellers are having to pivot and pivot fast.
Get this, 4 to 5. That is the staggering number of weeks before price cuts actually begin. We're talking basically a month. If a buyer looks at a property and thinks it's overpriced today, sellers are absolutely not waiting around for months to test the waters or holding their breath for some unicorn offer. They're pulling the trigger on price reductions right away. It's an incredibly tight window, and it proves just how hypersensitive buyers in the Fresno area are to asking prices right now.
And we're hearing this straight from the pros. Listen to what Realtor.com senior economist Joel Berner has to say. He notes, yeah, so we're seeing actually a little bit earlier than most people might anticipate, kind of in the 4 or 5 week range is when price cuts start. Basically, sellers are having to adjust their lofty expectations extremely early in the game. If the market decides your price is too high, well, the market speaks incredibly fast these days, and local sellers really have no choice but to listen.
To really wrap our heads around how big of a shift this is, we got to look in the rearview mirror for a second. In previous years, homes in Fresno were flying off the market way quicker than the national average. It was this wild regional frenzy that just defied what was happening elsewhere. But now, properties are moving at the exact same pace as the national market. The local scene is officially pumping the brakes, transitioning out of that localized frenzy and realigning itself with what the rest of the country is experiencing.
All right, let's unpack the first major cause behind this massive shift. Driver number 1, the inventory rebound. The biggest reason sellers are having to drop prices is simply supply and demand. You really just have to look at the sheer number of homes hitting the market right now. During the pandemic shock, we had historically low inventory. Buyers had almost zero choices. But fast forward to today, and the number of homes for sale is high and steadily climbing. The supply is bouncing back significantly from that crazy squeeze we experienced just a couple of years ago.
And this is huge. Joel Berner makes a great point here, saying we're actually almost back to pre-pandemic levels of inventory in Fresno, which is a really important benchmark for the recovery from that shock. Why does that benchmark matter so much? Because it completely flips the power dynamic. As inventory nears those pre-pandemic levels, buyers actually have options. And when buyers can shop around, sellers lose their exclusive leverage. You simply cannot demand top dollar if a buyer can just walk down the street and find 3 other comparable homes.
But wait, it's not just existing neighbors competing with each other. That brings us to driver number 2, builder competition. Home builders are throwing down some incredibly aggressive incentives to move their newly built homes, and it is playing a massive role in Fresno right now. There is actually a fair amount of new construction going up in the region, and these builders aren't just putting up houses. They're strategically pricing these brand new homes at highly competitive price points compared to the established market. So if you're a regular person trying to sell your older home, you are now going directly head-to-head with shiny, brand new construction. And these builders have a massive ace up their sleeve, a mortgage rate buy-down. If you haven't heard of this, it's a specific financial incentive offered by home builders to temporarily or even permanently lower a home buyer's interest rate. Think of it like this. The builders are essentially taking a slice of their own profit margin and using it to buy down the buyer's mortgage rate. It's a brilliant, incredibly powerful lure because it directly solves a buyer's number 1 hesitation right now, which of course is high interest rates.
You can see how this creates a huge headache for your average local seller. Regular sellers are banking heavily on their asking price, and they usually don't have any extra cash perks to toss in. Meanwhile, the big home builders are offering lower base prices in some cases, and they're throwing in those sweet mortgage rate buy-downs on top of it. Standard sellers just can't compete with the deep pockets of corporate builders unless they drastically chop their own asking prices to make the math work for a hesitant buyer.
So zooming out, what do all these shifting dynamics mean for the market as a whole? It means we're officially entering a new balanced market. After a totally wild few years, the big takeaways are crystal clear. Inventory continues to grow. Buyer demand is adjusting to that new supply, and crucially, pricing and timing are finally syncing up with broader national trends. Fresno is officially leaving its pandemic-era anomaly in the dust. The days of being an extreme outlier where homes sell instantly for any price? Those are over. We're finally settling into a much healthier, balanced environment where standard market rules actually apply.
Which leaves us with this one ultimate question to wrap up this explainer. As Fresno normalizes, will local sellers adapt fast enough to the new rules of the game? Are they going to wake up to this new, balanced reality where price drops happen in weeks, not months? Or are they going to let their homes sit on the market while new construction and aggressively priced neighbors just pass them right by? It's going to be absolutely fascinating to watch unfold. Thanks for hanging out with me to break this down, and definitely keep these new rules in mind the next time you spot a for sale sign in the Central Valley.